What's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? So we're answering your questions today, and today's question came from someone in the comment section that asked me about major league versus minor league field conditions. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. I had the opportunity to play at about 4,000 minor league parks. Unfortunately, I only probably played at about, I don't know, maybe half of the major league parks have I been to in my life, or have I played on. I actually have never, this is interesting, I've only watched a major league game, I believe, in one other stadium other than Fenway Park, and it was in Cincinnati. I believe that's the only game I've ever watched from the stands. So I've played on a lot more fields, well, clearly a lot more fields than two. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this video. So let's talk about the differences, because there's a couple of key differences. First, I think most people assume that minor league parks are not going to be anywhere close when it comes to field conditions as major league parks. And for the most part, yes, you're spot on. But there's even some pretty big discrepancies between major league parks. There's plenty of fields that I've played on in the big leagues where it's amazing, and then you'll play on another field and you're like, wow, this doesn't feel like a major league park. So let's get into all of those details right now. Okay, so the first thing is let's start talking about minor leagues versus major leagues. Clearly in the major leagues, you've all seen it, there's like 4,000 grounds crew members, okay? There's not really 4,000, but there's a lot, right? You see like the guy watering the mound or watering the dirt before the game, like they've got like 15 guys just holding the hose on their shoulder, all right? You go to a minor league stadium, now sometimes you'll have like 3 or 4 guys, but sometimes in the minor leagues, you got one guy out there with like a garden hose, you know, and it's like got all those knots in it and the water's barely spitting out and he's tugging on it and there's no one helping him. Like, it depends on where you're playing. Like in the minor leagues, some places, they only have a couple of guys to take care of their field. That's it. The major leagues, obviously, the resources are incredible. And so that's a clear difference, is just the resources that are available. But in the minor leagues, and I don't know how this works, I guess it just depends on the team and what they want to pay for a grounds crew. Because when I played in places like Lake Elsinore, California, which comes to mind, right, they really took care of that field. They had a lot of people working on that all the time. And there were other fields that I played on where it felt like nobody ever touched the thing. Like it felt like there was no grounds crew. It kind of felt like in college, where when I played at Wake Forest, now it's turf, so I don't have to worry about it. But in college, it was like the players took care of the field pretty much. Now, Tal Job did a great job, Tal. And if you're watching this, man, you are the best, okay? But like he was expected to do it all by himself, so all the players had to try to pitch in. I remember my job was I had to rake the dirt that went on the grass. I had to rake that back onto the dirt. So that was my job, okay? So sometimes it feels like that in the minor leagues. There's certain places where there's just, they don't really care, or they don't have anyone to work on the field, all right? So some fields are absolutely terrible. There's no doubt, especially at the lower you go in the minor leagues, where there's certain fields where you're afraid that you're going to get hit in the face with a ball and get your teeth knocked out because the dirt is just terrible. And there's other fields that are fantastic. And usually the higher you go in levels, typically the better the fields are going to be. Not always the case, okay? Because there are some, like Lake Elsinore, that's high A, all right? So it's not super high level in the minor leagues. Fantastic field, really took care of it. And I've played at some fields in AAA where they don't really seem to take care of it very well, okay? But I would say the majority of the time, as you move up, the fields are going to get better. Now, one other thing to keep in mind, and this has a large role in this as well, is where is the field located? What's the climate like? So when I played in Lake Elsinore, right, that's Southern California, the weather's beautiful, right? And so almost every field I've ever played on in Southern California is beautiful. A lot easier to take care of that field than it is to take care of a field in New Hampshire or, in Montana. I've never been to Montana before. Here it's a beautiful place. But the more north you get, the tougher it is to take care of your field. Also, the other thing is, there's certain fields, even if you are down in the south, let's say you're out in Arizona, Vegas is another example, where it's so stinking hot every single day in the summer, right? It's like 130 degrees that it's just, the grass is just getting burnt to a crisp because you can't keep, it's so hot you can't water it enough. The dirt, it's so dry because even if you do water it, 10 seconds later, it's 4,000 degrees out, and so it's burning the crap out of that thing. And so you get harder dirt, you get burnt up grass. So climate is huge, and that's where that Southern Cal, it's like, it's hot, it's warm. It's not too hot, right? It's not really ever too cold. It's like that perfect temperature where it's so much easier to work on the field. So you combine really good climate with resources, and you're going to get a really nice minor league field. So now let's go to the major leagues. The best fields, the best two fields that stick out to me were Petco Park and Dodger Stadium. All right, two Southern Cal, again, locations. Those two stuck out by far as the best. Now, I have not played on every single field in the major leagues, like I said. So I'm sure there's a field that I'm forgetting or that I've never played at that has a great surface. But those two fields were the best in my mind. My favorite was Dodger Stadium. I thought that was just the perfect everything. The grass was beautiful. You literally, like, I think that grass was more comfortable than my bed. That's how comfortable it was. It was amazing. The dirt, I don't think you can find a bad hop on that dirt. It was unbelievable. It stays like, so not only is it just beautiful and flat, but it stays like the absolute perfect amount of moisture in that dirt. So as an infielder, you want the dirt to be wet, but you don't want it to be like, you don't want it to be muddy or sloppy. And so they're able to figure out whether it's the way that the consistency of the dirt. I'm not an expert in dirt, but whatever they do an unbelievable job of figuring out a way to make it just wet enough that it stays nice and beautiful, and not too wet that you're sliding, and not too dry that you start feeling those, like, it ends up kind of like clumping up on you and you get those bad hops. It's whatever they do, it's unbelievable. Again, a lot has to do with the weather. So Dodger Stadium, unbelievable, number one. Now Petco, I would probably say Petco is number two. The difference with Petco, almost the same as LA. I just thought that Petco played faster. Like, it felt like the ball got on me quicker. And so as an infielder, I would rather that not happen. You don't want the ball to not get to you, right? You don't, like, you remember those little league days, or sometimes it's high school baseball, or even maybe some colleges out there, where the ball is hit and the grass is so long that the ball just doesn't get to you. So you don't want it too slow either. But Petco played, in my opinion, probably a little bit faster than you want. Dodger Stadium played perfect. It was like the perfect speed. I'm telling you, everything about Dodger Stadium was absolutely perfect. The dirt, the grass, the speed of everything. It was just awesome. So those are some of the best ones that I've played. Those are the two best that I've played at. If I think about some of the other stadiums, I'll give you real quick some that stand out. I thought that when we played the Nationals, I thought that their dirt was bouncy. It's hard to describe. It was not the same. It didn't feel the same as LA or San Diego. So the ball just felt like it just wanted to bounce on you, and it took a little while to get used to those hops. I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was something to do with the climate or the consistency of the dirt or what it was, but I just know it was different. I know that at Fenway Park, the dirt, same thing. The dirt and even the grass played, it wasn't as true as Dodger Stadium and as Petco. And again, in Boston, a lot harder to keep good care of both the grass and the dirt. And so I totally understand that. But I did notice ground balls there. There'd be some ground balls where the ball would kind of take a little bit of a weird hop on me, and you're not expecting that. That never happened in LA or in San Diego, where I feel the ball. I was like, oh man, that ball didn't go. I still find a way to miss a ball, right? That's just because I'm not that good. But the ball almost always, at those stadiums, it went where you thought it was going to go. Other stadiums that stand out real quick. So playing against the Rockies, one other thing about the Rockies, and this wasn't so much that the dirt was different or the grass was different, but the cut of the dirt was different. So there's just a huge amount, and maybe you guys can do some research on this and figure it out. There just felt like there was a huge amount of dirt. So it felt like the infield lasted forever. I remember that and thinking like, wow, I don't like this. There's like too much dirt. I'm used to a certain amount of grass and then a certain amount of dirt. And at Coors Field, the ratio of grass to dirt was not a good ratio in my mind. It just felt weird. Now I'm sure if you played there a lot, you get used to it, but I thought it was a little bit. I didn't like the feel of that. But anyway, so those are the main things, and those are the main fields that stick out in my mind. So clearly MLB, MILB, going to be much different. Resources, right, is the number one thing. But keep in mind, climate has a huge amount to do with it. And keep in mind that at the big leagues, not every field is going to be the same also. There's definitely fields that I'm pretty sure resources-wise, I would assume, this is just an assumption, that most teams want their field conditions to be as good as possible. And so they're putting in an equal amount of resources towards their field. But I think the weather and the climate just make it so much more easy to take care of certain fields than others. So I don't know, maybe you've worked on a field. Maybe we have some major league grounds crew members in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. But there you go. Hopefully that answers your questions. Let me know if you have any more in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. We'll talk to you later. If you've got hitters that you're looking to improve before the start of next season, this is essential for you. Matt Antonelli here, former Major League player, first-round pick, and college coach. With this course, we're going to show you exactly, step-by-step, how to generate power, develop bat speed, and enhance swing mechanics. Regardless of your hitter's age, this course is going to deliver advanced hitting techniques that will allow any hitter to get better and make an impact at the plate this spring. We have a full catalog of training content that you can access from anywhere at any time. This course is perfect for players, parents, coaches, instructors, and more. It offers a comprehensive package of drills and techniques that you can directly implement. Our course has helped hitters all over the country at different competition levels, and the feedback that we've received has been outstanding. The work you put in now will drive your success at the plate this spring. Get the essential knowledge that you need to take your game to the next level. I've put the link in the description if you want to go check it out.